Hey, what's up guys? John here. While the media says to pay attention to what's happening in Israel and Hamas,
Israel didn't start this war. Israel will finish it.
President Biden and other top officials have vocally supported Israel's right to defend itself.
and last week it was pay attention to what's going on in Russia and Ukraine.
Russia is at war with its neighbor Ukraine.
Russia is waging a major new offensive in eastern Ukraine.
Every week it's a big breaking story that deserves all of your attention, apparently. But what they're not telling you is what's really happening on U.S. soil, what's happening under our very, very noses, what's going on here. Because what's going to happen over the next 6 to 12 months that people aren't paying attention to now is going to rewrite American history. And I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to show you exactly what's going on. For example, Janet Yellen today is saying we can afford to fund Israel and Hamas, and we can afford to fund Russia and Ukraine.
The US is in its weakest fiscal position since World War II, with debt to GDP at 122%. Can America, can the West afford another war at this time?
Absolutely. America can certainly afford to stand with Israel and to support Israel's military needs. And we also can and must support Ukraine in its struggle against Russia.
Can afford to fund both of these wars. Meanwhile, inflation's out of control in this country and people are in a worse position financially than they've ever been in U.S. history. Look at what's going on. Look at the chain of events that are about to unfold. It's going to change everything. Please hit the like button. YouTube's going to share this content to educate other people about what's really going on. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com, by clicking the link in the description below this video. Take a look at this. Janet Yellen, America can certainly afford 2 wars. Certainly afford it. U.S. can certainly afford military, right? Down below the 7 hours ago. It says interest rates are going to be higher for longer. So you look at what's happening. They're going to drain America of their resources. That's what's happening. We're going to be drained of our resources. In fact, right now, America is now paying more in interest on $33 trillion in debt than our entire national defense. Our entire national defense. If you look at where our debt was in 2019, 22 trillion, we're at 22 trillion. Now we're over 32 trillion. We're over 33 trillion. This article was put out in August, right? So we went from 22 trillion, we added $10 trillion in debt over the last few years. 10 trillion. So since the founding of this country, 1776, over 250 years, we have a situation where our debt has increased from 22 trillion to 32 trillion, basically by 50% almost, over the course of a few years. What is this going to mean? It means every single month as we walk into more and more and more of these problems, because apparently America is now a welfare country. It's going to send all of our resources overseas into all these different locations. What is this going to mean? It's going to mean big problems for the everyday American. That's what it's going to mean. Huge problems for the everyday American. If you look at our national debt now, $33.52 trillion. $33.52 trillion. Now, pay attention to Canada, because all this connects so perfectly with what's going on in America. Canada is now taking a step towards making universal basic income a reality. So some people might say, hey, this is a great thing, John. The world's really expensive. I mean, I need some extra money. A lot of people are on that page. I mean, 2 out of 3 Americans don't have $400. So a lot of people are on that page. But what I think is going to happen is they're going to continue to make things a little bit more expensive, and then people are going to beg for a solution. They're going to say, look, we're going to give you $500 a month, $1,000 a month. In certain parts of Europe, they're doing $2,000 a month. People are going to love that. But then down the road, there'll be strings attached. That's what I think we're walking into. Look at America. Look at what's going on here. Look at all these different cities that are offering universal basic income pilot programs. 82 cities across 29 states. 82 cities. In locations like Florida, Gainesville, Florida. You have Austin, Texas. You have San Antonio, Texas. This is going to be coming to every single state. But how I think this whole thing rolls out is I believe there's going to be a couple things that happen first. The first is oil prices. They're going to continue to rise because of all this tension that's happening overseas. They're going to say oil prices are going to go to $120, $150 a barrel. As oil prices continue to rise, that's going to be passed on to everyday American consumers through your car insurance, through your home insurance, through your food prices, through the shirt on our backs, to everything that we buy. If it's sent on a ship, a train, an airplane, or a truck, all that newfound cost is going to be pushed onto the consumer. So what is that going to mean? That's going to mean it's going to impact the job market. It's going to impact the entire economy. Inflation going 2%, it's not going to be happening anytime soon. And because of this, what's ultimately going to happen? People are going to be pushed into a harder financial position. So as this begins to happen and consumers have less disposable income, businesses are going to look for ways in which they need to transition this situation. And they're going to be doing it through automation and technology. And the reason that I think that is because as consumers have less money, they're going to look to reduce their overall exposure to $25 an hour basic labor. That's what's ultimately going to happen. And so as they're doing this, this is going to be a situation in which they're going to be able to grow market share through automation. And now 85% of jobs that can be automated will be automated by 2025. 2025, think about that. This insanity that's been going on the last few years, in 6 months, that'll mark a 4-year anniversary. 2025 is 18 months away, not even 15 months away, 16 months away, right? So all this is going to continue to pepper in every single month. So as we start to walk into this, you have to ask ourselves, okay, well, how is this whole thing going to work out? Well, here's what I think is going to happen. As oil prices rise, right, and this changes the job market, changes the economy, then we're going to start hearing a conversation about we need to invest in our own green energy. We need to become energy efficient, and we need to not be, at the mercy of other countries that are taking advantage of us and destroying the planet. So we need to do green energy. And this green energy transition apparently is $275 trillion, or about $9.2 trillion per year. So to put this into context, again, our debt in America, you're looking at 30 trillion. So you're increasing the debt load by 30% every single year. I mean, there's no way that that's going to work unless they inflate the currency to oblivion or increase taxes dramatically. Even that is still not going to work. So we're looking at a major overhaul in this economy. And this is happening. Whether we like it or not, this is what's going to happen. So we have to see, okay, well, how's this going to work? Here's how this is going to work. The tax situation. Now, AI in the IRS audits could be a game changer. So they're already working, as of last month, to use AI to start doing audits on small businesses, large businesses, corporations, millionaires, everyday Americans. Everybody is going to be now through this new AI system. And so when you start to look at this and they start to increase taxes to fund this green energy transition, as they already have the AI, they're going to be able to go through every American, right? You're going to be able to go through every American's tax return, and they're going to be able to go after the real big money. And so this is what is going to happen. Increased taxes are going to be a really, really big issue. Biden's even saying that no one should be working and cleaning bathrooms for $2.13 an hour. Now, I agree that that's insane, but you have to take into consideration what they're really doing, and this is happening in California. It's happening all over America. What they're really doing is saying that people deserve more. They have to be paid more. And in California, for example, they increased minimum wage for fast food workers $20 an hour, right? $20 an hour. Look at this. This machine. You can buy these machines 10 grand, 15 grand. You can probably lease them for pennies on the dollar, right? So they're going to start to move in all this automation, all this technology in the next year or two, and they're doing it in the name of saving the planet and combating inequality. It's going to be a problem that I think a lot of Americans have no idea is really coming, and it's going to be happening all at the same time that this $2 trillion debt wall is going to be coming in 2024. They say that it's going to be losing 5,000 jobs per month in 2024, 5,000 jobs per month, and in 2025, it's going to be 10,000 jobs per month. So you just start to look at this. You start to look at this transition that's happening in the economy. When they're telling you, when anyone's telling you, you got to pay attention over here, look over here, look over here. You always want to look the opposite direction. You always want to, pay attention to what's really going on. Because imagine in 2019, someone were to tell you what the next few years would look like. You would not have believed them. You would not have believed them. But if you would have seen a chain of events, a chain of facts, you would have been able to see things a little bit differently. If you look at what's going on right now structurally, to businesses, to consumers, to inflation, to the cost of energy, to everything, you'll be able to see clearly that we're moving in to a overdrive. We're moving into a speed up transition to the next step. And the next step is going to be massive job losses, universal basic income, increased taxes, increased inflation, a harder world for many. But if you are an entrepreneur, a business owner, or you're someone that just has bigger goals to not be taken advantage of like that, there's opportunities right now. I mean, there's online businesses. A lot of people are going to be using artificial intelligence and technology to reduce their overall expenses in their own business. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to make money through AI. I'm not saying this to scare anyone or concern anyone, but if you look at what's actually happening, look at the data, this is what the data is saying. This data is suggesting a lot of layoffs and a lot of change incoming. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to make a lot of money through this change. No doubt about it. A lot won't, but there will be a lot of people that do. So make sure you choose the right industry. Make sure you're really strategic with how you're spending the next 12 to 24 months, because I think if you do, you'll be set for life. And if you don't, you ignore the information, you ignore what's really going on, I think you might look back on realizing that was probably a mistake. So take advantage of this situation. You don't really have a choice. You're either going to be someone that's going to take advantage of it, or the situation is going to take advantage of you. Unfortunately, we don't write the rules. We're just basically, we're put here and we have to play by them. So what do you think about this entire situation? What do you think was going to happen with the job market? Do you think we're walking into a situation where we're going to fund both of these wars? We're going to fund them both. Taxes are going to rise. Everything's going to get much, much harder in the coming years. I'm on that camp. I think they are. I'm curious as to what you think. Drop below. We'll have a conversation about it. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, don't let it sit there. If you're looking to get business funding, or you want to invest in distressed real estate, or you have some goal, if you have bad credit, when you apply for that loan, you're more than likely either going to get lent a much smaller amount or get denied entirely. If you have great credit, it increases your odds of getting access to a bigger line of credit at a better interest rate. Even with today's higher interest rates, it makes a big difference having good credit compared to having bad credit. So go to GreatCreditFast.com and they'll be able to give you a free strategy session. I'll catch you in the next video.